morning. Oh, you can do better than that. Good morning. All right, don't shout. What can I say? It is a pleasure to be here in California. I'm from Florida, and so I almost can sympathize with those people who've been complaining about Chicago, but not quite. I'm delighted to be here amongst the sappers and those that support them. One of the things I wanted to do is set the tone for fun for the whole day. I've created a brief called Tao of Poo, Humor, and Stress. And it's about using a sense of humor, which you're already so good at, in a fun way. Let me tell you, some of you have been noticing about my red shoes. Can you see them? I know, so elegant that I lift my leg like my mother would be so proud. I wear the, huh? We like them. You like them? I thank you. All right, so the reason I wear the red shoes, and my business name is actually Red Shoe Institute, they call me the Red Shoe Lady because of this story. And my name doesn't really matter. I was 4.5 when I came to this country from Cuba. Anyone else from Cuba in the house? No one's perfect, all right. And I know there's other Latinos and Latinas here. We all have a history somewhere in America that's rich. But when I first came to this country, it was with full knowledge that something was different. We were not on an airplane. Castro soldiers took my mother away, and I didn't know if I'd ever see her again. The one thing I did notice, you know how when you're a kid you notice these weird details, was she had on red shoes, which she never wore. And later on, as an adult, I find out that the reason she was wearing the red shoes is a bit of a to Castro. When we left in 1960, November 5th, we were all allowed 1 suitcase per person and $5 per family member. And my mother, who had been a very stylish woman, opted in that moment to bring the most impractical shoes in the world to make a statement. Don't you just gotta love it? Yeah. So when we finally got into the airplane, and we were just boarding, and my mother came and rushed and joined us, all I could think about was that the red shoes somehow were magical. You know how kids are. So when we first got out of the airplane, we went to this new neighborhood in Miami, 2nd Street and Flagler. I don't know if anyone knows that area, but it's between a firehouse and a cemetery. We were well placed. Starting over in Cuba, we had a comfortable life. We started over with nothing but with freedom. And part of why I do these military events is because without you guys, America wouldn't be free. This is the best country in the world. And yes, and I'm just so proud to be here. So my mother's walking with my twin sister and I. Yes, there's 2 of us. I know, the poor thing, right? So she's walking like this. Hello, how are you? How are you? It was a picnic in the neighborhood. She never did get the English particularly well, but she was so charming with it. And everyone was so nice except for one lady had a cara de fou, which is the face you get when you smell a rank baby diaper. You've heard that phrase, some of you. And so the woman looked at my mother and said, Psst, Beba. Well, my mother's name was Beba, really, because it was Esther Maria de los Angeles González y Plasencia de Gurri. A little long. Isn't Beba better? All right. So, Psst, Beba, those shoes make you look loose. Well, I didn't know what it meant at the time. We learned later because I went to Catholic school. Boy, did I learn. And so my mother stiffened up, and my mother never lost her temper. When she did, it was noteworthy. So my sister and I looked at her, and we thought, oh, it's going to be really good. It was kind of exciting watching your parent lose it, right? And we're looking at her, and suddenly she relaxed. She put her shoulders back. She took her shoulders. She said, I can dance. And that's the red shoe attitude. Taking whatever the situation or person gives to you and make it your own. Keeping your personal power, keeping your dignity, keeping your sense of humor. And never you have more practice with a red shoe attitude than in the military, right? Oh, yeah. All right. So I'm sure you're all experts at it. So let's dive in. So the key to success in everything is the red shoe attitude. And here you are in the middle of a transition. Is this what it looks like? All smooth and lovely? Or is it more like this? Oh, yeah. All right. Are you happy about it?
Very much so.
We are happy because we're proud, but we're not happy to have our loved ones be gone. And if we're happy that they're be gone, there's something a little wrong. All right? Are we feeling different than we were before? I always like Spidey, what could I say? Are you closer than ever to the people in your love life and in your little circle of love and support? Or not? One thing I know about military deployments from having worked with the military since 1979 is that with each deployment, if you know there's more and more deployments, only 90% of that person comes back. And then the next deployment, 90% of that comes back. And 90% of that, because you have to leave a little piece of you in Afghanistan or wherever and get it until you know the last deployment is there. And then you can begin to recollect your whole self. We know that that's so. It's been scientifically said, and in my clinical practice, I know it's so. And many of you shaking your heads, you know so too. Are you stricken, or will you be stricken? And sometimes what's hardest isn't what happens to the soldier, but what happens back home. Are you dealing with regret? I don't know if you can read it. It says, those were the droids we were looking for. We all have regret. We are all wonderful and awful, right? Except for you, you're all wonderful? All right, I thought so. All right, he's going, yeah. We have love in our lives. Now, some of us has too much love, girlfriend and a wife, a little problem. And we know that the military is good to help people make choices that are sometimes either really, really good or they just seem good at the time. So this is a good chance to look at your transition choices. And we all deal with the unexpected. My oldest granddaughter, Caitlin, says, Lela. She calls me Lela instead of abuela. Lela, that's not nice. I said, yeah, but it's funny. And we're all looking forward to life's joys, reunions. I saw one couple practicing reunions in the lobby yesterday. All right, they did very well. Now, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to embrace the Tao of Pooh. We're going to look at happiness, crisis, and stress. We're going to practice humor as self-care, and you're going to leave with a practical action plan that you can tell your humor buddy that we established earlier today. So again, there's my phone number. Call me. You text me concerns, complaints. Now, here is the Tao of Pooh. Who knows what the Tao is? What's the Tao? And no, it has nothing to do with stocks. I heard someone say stocks. What's the Tao? It's what? It's a token. What is the Tao? You know about yin yang? The Tao is a philosophy. It's not a religion. And it's about what is, the good and the bad. And the Tao takes a look at all life as a token. She was on the right track there. It has to do with the path. Well, this little guy here I call Lord Fauntleroy. Here. I have a private practice. I've been in psychology private practice by myself for about 35 years. There was this little boy came into my office, have a big plate glass window. And the family came, the mom, the dad, the cute little yuppie family, little boy, 4 years old, all mommy dressed, and then there was a cute little 6-year-old girl. As they were coming in front of my window, get into my office, the girl did a boñato. She did a trip, right? And it was a spectacular one. The little boy started laughing. They didn't know I saw that. When they came into my office then, I said, hi, why are you guys here? And the 6-year-old, of course, they're the tattletales, she said, he can't poop. That's what she said. He's all clogged up. And I thought, well, that wasn't nice that she was the one that told. I guess maybe he should have been the one to say that himself. And so then I asked the history, and they'd been to Kennedy Krieger and Johns Hopkins, and he'd been probed, and it was expensive. Finally, I looked to the boy, who was the whole time kind of mad about being there, and I don't blame him, right? Like some of the expressions I see with you guys at the Yellow Ribbon. And the little boy, I asked him, so why don't you want to poo? So who knows what he said? What do 4-year-olds say about wanting to do something? I didn't know they wanted me to, or because they wanted me to. What else? What does a 4-year-old say? I don't wanna. It's mine. I'm keeping it. And when he finally lets go of his poo, it doesn't feel good or smell good. And then the indignity of all, his 6-year-old sister runs up and flushes his product before he can, right? What an indignity. And so there's a bit of power struggle going on. And when we're a kid, there's very few things we can control. Pee, poo, eating, sleeping. Is there anything else we can control? Not much, right? So that's kind of really one of the big 4, okay? So when we were talking, I said, you know, little Lord Fauntleroy, if you go and poo and flush it, you become one with the universe. Oh, and the trees will grow bigger. Even the roots on trees will grow bigger. and maybe it'll trip someone you know. See, aggression is a great invitation. And he said, Dr. Margarita, can I please go poo? And I said, sure. So he went and he came back. He said, I did it. I said, oh, I knew you could. And of course, the tattletale says, it's a Dairy Queen swirly. And he says, you want to see it? And I said, no, I'll pass. So the bottom line is, Lord Fauntleroy is about the Tao of poo, which is what we hold on to, what we let go. So this guy here, who is he? Peter Griffin. Does he hold on to anything? Not a thing. So with any situation, what good or bad feelings are you holding on to? The Tao says nothing good or bad, it's what you do with it. So let's keep it going. Sometimes it's the little things that pack a wallop. All right, so we're going to be working on creating a stronger, more effective template for handling life's joys and sorrows together. It's about the way, and you're on the way. And what is the saying you guys have? Clear the way, right? Oh, clear the way. So the Tao poo, while Eeyore frets and Piglet hesitates and Rabbit calculates and Owl pontificates, poo just is. The Tao is about just is. Now, when we did our earlier warm-up this morning, how many of you, when I asked you where would you rather be than right here, right now, how many of you said here, right now? One person only, is that it? Only one person chose to be here right now? 3, all right, very good. 4. Okay, now, that is the secret of life. That's the secret of happiness, being happy where you are, or making the best of it. 5, or we're up to 5, all right. That's the best in any group ever. So the secret of the universe, claiming the now, right? And there's a lot of happiness research that backs that up.
You know, when I was 19, Grandpa took me on a roller coaster. Up, down, up, down. Oh, what a ride.
What a great story.
I always want to go again. No, it was just interesting to me that a ride could make me so frightened, so scared, so sick, so excited, and so thrilled all together. Some didn't like it. They went on a merry-go-round. Let's just go around. Nothing. I like the roller coaster. You get more out of it.
So I love this clip. One of the things we know is that anyone here in uniform loves the roller coaster, right? It's not in some ways what defending your nation's all about, with deployments and all that kind of stuff. But the rest of us in civilian clothing, maybe some of us have had deployments and some of us hadn't, but the rest of us may prefer the merry-go-rounds. Anyone here prefers a merry-go-round to a roller coaster? You do? All right, that's because he's sitting next to a cute girl. All right, what else? Okay. So there are a few of us. I used to like roller coaster. Now as a vieja, I prefer the merry-go-round holding the grandbabies, okay? Now, some of you are a roller coaster. You don't need to get on a ride. Your personalities come in and shine the whole room up, right? So you don't need that. So in the military, there's this prejudice against people who don't like roller coasters. Part of the Tao is accepting that it's all part of what needs to happen and to work with it. So what is happiness? We know that happiness cannot be worn, traveled, earned, worn, consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every moment in love, grace, and gratitude. Happiness can't be a goal. Happiness can only be achieved by making good choices. And I see some people taking pictures. Anyone who wants my slides, I share. And by the way, if you have good YouTube clips, share them with me, all right? If you just go to Margarita at Red Shoe Institute, send them my way. And if you have any slides or anything you want to post about your family and you want me to include in any of these for tomorrow, I'll be glad to include them. You just send them to me. So happiness, we know, makes us more successful. With a group of military kids, I always work with military kids, and with Jeff Kostick, who's my branding guru, came up with maximize your soldiers' effectiveness by improving happiness and increasing communication. Who knew that you could be a better soldier and be safer if you were happy and communicated well? Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? But until recently, we haven't thought of happiness as a serious topic for research. So you ask yourself, what makes you happy? Just in a hot moment, just think of one thing. And how many of you did something fun this morning before you got out of bed? I don't want to hear other stuff. Out of bed. How many of you did something fun this morning before you got out of bed? Not 2 of you? That's terrible. All right. So one thing we got to do is make sure that we do something fun and pay ourselves first. So tomorrow morning before you do anything official, because I think it's corrupt to wake up and go to school or go to work. You wake up for love, like my neighbors. The 5th floor, anybody? Anybody? All right. We wake up for love, we wake up for joy, sex, chocolate, babies, good things in life, right? We don't wake up for work, we don't wake up for school. If you've got your priorities set, you'll be safer and healthier. This is my family. This is who keeps me happy. These are my 2 daughters. This one runs my company. This is my youngest grandbaby, Taryn. And this is Caitlin, and I believe her new hair color is blue as of last week. But I can't keep track, and they're just adorable. All right, so what gets in the way of happiness and good communication?
Work.
Work, stress, what else? I heard someone say men, all right. I think men are just wonderful, but they can be stressful. What else? Yep. He's agreeing. You've been married a long time, so that's why you know how to agree?
Oh, no, I'm single.
Oh, he's single. All right, ladies, this is a smart man. So what gets in the way of happiness? These are the things that people have said. It's a little poll. Luck, life, love, money, bad hair days, attitude. What motivates you to change? Some people don't get moving until they feel the heat, others when they see the light. Now, my measure for that is those of you who have your taxes almost ready, you know something's coming, may as well get ready for it, right? Like, I got a hint for you. Deployment's getting on the way, right? It's around the corner. So some of you are getting everything ready. Those of you who are single are making sure that your parents or your neighbors or somebody is going to be watching your vehicles and all that kind of stuff. You've got the power of attorney. You've signed up for the JAG in the, what was the name of the room? Bay room. You got it. You were listening. All right. And some of you will do it at the last minute. Now, my favorite thing about the last minute is it's very dramatic, but it's not so helpful. So let's see if we can have a boring getting ready phase. Other people really have learned to take care of themselves. So I always ask yourself, what does your car look like? What does your bathroom look like? If you're living in the flow, you have a system for taking care of those obnoxious maintenance details. In the military, it's the devil's in the detail, isn't it? Okay. So what is stress? My definition of stress is when your values and your behavior don't match up. Like I talked with one soldier the other day in my office, and he was miserable. He was very successful in life. He was making good money. He was a reservist, but he also had a computer company. He was making a lot of money, had wife and children, but he was miserable. And then I asked him what his values were. Well, his family was number one. When I asked him how much time he'd spent with his family, guess how much he said? How about a day? How much time he spent a day? 30 minutes. That's right. You know him. All right. 30 minutes. And so no wonder he's stressed. So either you have to change your behavior or your values. Now, I believe that since this military deployment is a blessing, it should be like a do-over for you. Never in your life can you claim your culture and say, no, we're going to do this our way. We're not going to go over to your house all the time. We're going to stay at my house. We're not going to do, like, for the holidays, we're not going to travel. This is when you can claim it. This is when you can make things your own. Look at the obligations and see where your values are and claim them up. And my granddaughter, when I asked her what stress was, she says, when you don't give me what I want now, Leila. And I think a lot of us feel that way. Physical signs of stress, you know what those all are? And it says, stress my ass. I'm going to kill the next son of a bee who says I look stressed. Emotional signs of stress. Exits begin to look good. I see you loitering by the exits. Smart. You can see it in your moods. I had a soldier send me this one day.
It's no big deal. It's probably not even quicksand. We're gonna have a good laugh about this tonight with the guys. Well, this is just perfect.
You look great.
Are you there, God? Giraffe. Listen, if you would just give me a mulligan on this quicksand thing, I promise, no more peeing on your shorter creatures. You know something? I'm cool with this. I bet heaven has all the tender leaves I can eat, and everyone gets their own Slurpee machine. Yeah, take me, sweet death. I await your loving embrace. What? I think I hit the bottom.
My favorite chaplain, Chaplain Cresselia, sent this to me. He and I sometimes work with wounded warriors, and one guy had been in such a bad mood. He'd lost a few limbs. He was upset and feeling sorry for himself. And his wife and he found this on YouTube. And the chaplain sent it to me, and it's been a source of joy for lots of people. And you notice the military lingo, correct? Okay. All right, so I use this clip to help introduce. You have a mandatory brief on emotional cycles. We did it in one slide. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so here they are. Here's my version of it. Get ready, get set, hurry up and wait, go like hell, sink and resink. That's my version of the military deployment cycle. Let's see who we have in the room. Please stand up if you're about to be deployed, which is everyone in uniform. Please stand up. Thank you. All right, first off, let's give them applause. And then please stay standing if you've had at least 2 deployments. Holy moly, it's a lot of you. All right, these are your experts. Look around at them, all right? These are your experts. How many deployments have you had?
2.
2, sir? 3, 7? How many have you had? 2, sir? 2? 2? Who I'm missing, sir? 3 deployments, all right. Sit next to him, he's lucky. And how about you? 2. All right, thank you very much for your service. That's awesome. Very good. All right, now family members, stand up. You knew it was coming. Stand up. All right. Now, aren't they awesome? They put up with the rest of us. All right. Thank you. Kisses are okay instead of applause. I saw a few kisses. They're always all right. So some of you are brand new at this, and many of you have experience. Whether you're here with your parent and your siblings, or your wife, or a girlfriend, or a boyfriend, or whatever it is that you're with, one of the things I want you to think about is how can you help them with this? Because I think we often focus on the soldiers, but the family members go through this too. So Elizabeth Kubler-Ross came up with 5 cycles of grief, but also a response to a change or a loss, such as deployment. It works the same. Denial, I won't miss you. And kids, you see that stronger in kids. Anger, bargaining, depression, and then finally acceptance. And you saw that very well in the giraffe. Okay, that's your mandatory brief on that. All right. There's two types of suffering according to the Tao, natural and self-created. All right, so when you're humming that, we'll see where you are. Can get no satisfaction. I saw some of you. Try, and I try, can't get no. You didn't know you had to sing along, huh? Can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction. And I try, and I try, and I try, and I try. I can't get no, All right. I had promised the soldier I would include that in this brief, so I did. Now, the natural stressors, nature, birth, death, illness, society. If you wake up in the morning and the bluebird of happiness poos on you, you know you're in trouble. Of course, in some cultures, like in Under the Tuscan Sun, it's good luck to be pooed on, right, by a bird. This is a very lucky girl then. All right. Self-created. No rear ends were hurt in the making of this, all right? Self-doubt, insecurities. One of the things I see soldiers and their families struggling with the most, and this is a key slide, is all of this. Unrealistic expectations. They're going to go away, everything's going to be great, you know, they're going to come back, they're going to be just the same, it's going to be wonderful, right? No, because whether you do anything from this moment to the next, if you just move a little, you still change. Change is upon us every day. And how we handle that makes all the difference in making each deployment a blessing. So crisis is, from the ancient tradition of the kanji, danger plus opportunity. You guys are having that now. No matter how expert we are in dealing with certain things, including our temper, is going to get us from time to time, right? So is that a natural or self-created crisis? Self-created because of the attitude. Now, facing crisis, Can you just click your ruby red heels and make things go away? Yes, good. I want to see your shoes, sir. They sound more magical than mine. Of course, red shoes do help make the day better. I don't know. You know, DSW. Self-care research. Harvard did a bunch of research, and what they found out is these 5 things help you be happier and more successful and safer, including with first responders, whether it's military, fire, or police. Humor, sleep. How many of you got enough sleep last night? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we can do better, can't we? Apparently, as you yawn. Getting sleep is the #1 way to make you safe. Anyone in the military has learned they can fall asleep wherever they are, right? Okay. Isn't that annoying for the rest of us? All right. And they finally come home, or they're going to go away, and they're sleeping? Yes, they can sleep. And it's a good skill. We need to be more like them and learn it. Exercise, any kind, is good. Meaning, and they say 20 to 30 minutes. Meaning, if you have meaning of life. Anyone here has meaning of life, or you wouldn't be here. And touch. Various kinds of touches. You can choose your bests. So how are you doing with self-care? On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being terrific, where are you? Shout it out. 4. 0, 4. Anyone 5? 6. All right. We got someone a 6. He's giving the next brief. All right. Dale Carnegie said something, act as if you're happy and it'll tend to make you happy. I think happiness is in the eye of the beholder. If you present yourself a certain way, it's a choice sometimes. How are you going to present yourself? Because remember, happiness cannot be a goal. It's the byproduct of making good choices. And our mood and our behavior are choices. So what will you do the next time poo hits the fan? All right, so we've addressed all of these things. Now let's look at personal action plan. Turn to your humor buddy next to you and say one thing you're going to do to use humor the next time you're stressed out by something. Turn to your humor buddy, one thing you're willing to do. Huh? One thing. How about you?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. I'm dangerous right now.
Oh, we got a dangerous man. All right. So remember, the next time someone does something yucky or you get mad, remember what happened when they told my mother, those shoes make you look loose. And what's the answer? Yes, I can dance. And let me see your shoulder shimmies. Come on. Oh, Mamita, that's good. All right, she's got it. All right, it's been fun playing with you guys. And my granddaughter, the oldest one, found this for you guys to thank you for your service, because she knows that we would be in communist Castro without you guys. Thank you. Do you know who the finance guy is? Can we go to, oh. Where is he? Oh, there. Oh, okay. You are up next. Do you have slides?
No, I have no slides.
Okay, good. All right, that's fine. And you have like 10 minutes or so.
Okay, it's fine.
Okay,
It's
great.
fine. Right now?
Yeah, you're right about this. And how do you say your name?
Furtado, David Furtado.
You're going to be at the podium? Or you want to walk around?
I'll probably go to the podium. That's fine.
Okay.
Behind the speaker.
Yeah, yeah.
Furtado.
Frittato.
Furtado.
Frittato?
Furtado. F-I-T-T.
All right, thank you for playing along with me. I appreciate it. And remember to use humor the next time you're stressed out. And I have a feeling it'll come today. Be plenty of opportunity for practice. And now we have, dealing with finance, Mr. David Furtado, who's going to talk to you about everything you need to know about the financial world. Sir, the podium's yours. Thank you all. Thank you.